Good evening everyone, Chris Peel here from Property Abundance. Hope you're all having a really great evening. Tonight I wanted to give you a quick update from my own property business, but also give you a few systems that you can take away from the stuff that we've done over the last week that you can implement into your own business so that you can start getting some great results in property, both sourcing systems and management systems. So I want to give you a couple of tools this evening that are going to help you scale up your business really fast, and then a couple of tools that are going to help you to make the management of that easier, because as it grows, obviously the management work grows with it. So we need to do this what I call kind of phased growth approach, where we grow, and then we hit the pause button, we put systems in place to fix anything that's starting to come up, and then we continue to grow. So a couple of systems, one to help you with the growth and one to help you with making sure that everything works. So over the last week, we've had quite a busy week last week in my property business. So we kind of went into another growth phase with KPR Property, which is my Birmingham and Coventry business with Rose and Kez. So I'll make sure to tag those guys so you can reach out to them. Great couple of guys, know a lot of stuff about property. So always make sure that you reach out to the people that we work with as well. So we viewed 4 new properties. We offered on 3 of those. So far we've had one of our offers accepted, one rejected, and one we're still waiting to hear back from. So that's really positive, kind of a 33% acceptance rate I'm pretty happy with from 3 offers. It could be 2, could end up being 2. But the one we've got, it's a 4-bedroom flat near the town centre in Birmingham. We forecast it'll make about £800 a month once it's set up and filled. So it's not the biggest deal, this one, but it's a nice bread and butter deal. I call it a nice bread and butter deal. Just keeps the business growing, keeps the cash flow growing. It's a nice standard deal. So after that, I also did a lot of networking last week. So I was out at a couple of networking events. I managed to get some time with a couple of my mentees as well. So I sat down with Rabi and with Juhi for, I think it's about an hour and a half at the end, just to talk about how they can continue to build their businesses. So Rabi is one of our mentorship program high flyers at the moment, so he's got a lot going on. And Juhi's just joined as well, so it's nice to kind of get some time and match up a couple of the different experience groups. Then went to a networking event in London to try and meet some more clients for my service accommodation management business, which operates London-wide. And also met another of my mentees there, so it was good to see a lot of people out taking the actions, following the advice, doing the things that they were supposed to do. So Kirsten, it was good to see you there as well if you're watching this at any stage. Great to see her there as well. So really busy week. Now I ended that week with a trip down to Bedford to go and meet my JV partner Toby. So Toby and I run a Bedford-wide HMO business, and we were looking at systems that we can implement to fix a couple of the cracks that are starting to appear in the business as it's grown, and it's grown a lot recently because we put 18 new rooms onto our portfolio. So it just kind of, as you grow, you start to notice things that aren't working 100% as they should. So we sat down and figured out some plans for how we can fix some of the cracks. And so one of the things that we came up with was we need to outsource a bit more of the admin work. It's getting to the point now with 18 HMOs where Toby's getting a bit bogged down in some of the admin work. So we need to get some of that out. So we already have a VA. So that kind of makes things a bit simpler. But the first thing I want to talk to you about, if you are building a property business, is getting the right staff on board before you need them. So get a VA, generally speaking, get a VA as the first member of your team. VAs can help you with basically anything. So in our business, they're helping us with all sorts of stuff. But recently we said, right, we're going to outsource some more stuff. So the things that we're going to outsource is setting up the contracts. So when people take on a tenancy with us, we don't want to be the ones writing the contracts to save our time and protect our time for the higher value activities. So that's now coming away from Toby. He won't be doing that anymore. That's going to go to one of our virtual assistants. Also happens to be my sister-in-law, actually, that virtual assistant in particular. But if you're looking for a virtual assistant, check out onlinejobs.ph or check out Upwork or Fiverr. These are some really great outsourcing sites where you can get a virtual assistant for very little money. And then the other systems that we want to talk about, besides virtual assistants and having them do a lot of the admin stuff for you, is how you can use virtual assistants in sourcing. Now this is something that my mentorship client Rabi has been doing very well he's been following the advice, taken out, because Rabi's a surgeon, so he's pretty time poor. He spends a lot of time in the hospital and doesn't. I think it's only 2 days a week that he actually has that he can do stuff in his property business. So we needed a system for Rabi that would allow him to source property deals without it being very time intensive on him personally. So he's done an absolutely fantastic job of this. So he's had his VA call around all the agents in the patch. So we wrote up a script for his VA together, gave her a script for how to present the business to agents. She called, I think it was something like, and I'm trying to remember the numbers, it was something like 90 agents that she called for him, and now he's got 24 who are working with him. So amazing results, 24 agents from 90 calls, and that's just first calls. So on top of that, there's something like another 35 that were maybes. So let's say that even if half of them drop in, then he's got in excess of 30 agents, which is phenomenal. So that's a really great use of a virtual assistant, especially one with phone skills. So if you've got, if you can find a virtual assistant that has either telesales or just telephone skills, that can be a really great way for you to start scaling up your own property business by working with agents. Now I know a couple of my other mentees are kind of nervous on the phone, so it's not necessarily that they don't have the time to call the agents. It's just they don't, they have a reluctance, that it's something outside of their comfort zone. Now, the first thing with this is obviously we always should push ourselves outside of our comfort zones. The best things happen outside of the comfort zone, and that's where a lot of growth comes from as well, is when you step out of that comfort bubble. But recognizing that, if it's the difference between people actually calling the agents or not calling the agents, if you look at outsourcing as a great option to do that. So there's a couple of my other mentees who are doing the same thing, and that seems to be working really, really well. But I just wanted to take hats off to Rabi just for the scale at which he's done it. 90 agents, 24 working with him, and another 35 maybes. Phenomenal performance, mate. So if you're watching this at any stage in the future, really, really well done. And that has resulted in quite a few deals on the table for him as well. So if you haven't connected with Rabi already, make sure you check him out. I think he did his first post, it was last Thursday or last Wednesday. So just scroll back in the feed, check him out. Make sure you add him and connect. Lots of business going on in London at the moment for Rabi. And that all came about based on the processes that we sat down and spoke about, and it all comes from the ASAP model. Now, the processes that we built there form the P of the ASAP model. And if you want to learn more about it, then this week we've got a couple of free events. So one's going to be on, I think it's Thursday and Saturday this week. So we've got one on Thursday and one on Saturday. I'm going to chuck the link down below. Now, if you want to come along, tickets are on us. There's tea and coffee provided, and we'll show you the foundations of how the ASAP model works. So A is assess, S is sourcing, A is application, and P is processes. And it's the foundation of the model that I've used to build my own property business and the other property businesses that I joint venture on as well, all around the UK. And works in every town and city in the UK. So if you want to learn more about that and find out if it's something that you want to take on and do more with, then check out the link down below. I'll drop it into the comments. If you're watching this live on Facebook, it's going to be in the comments after I come off this Facebook Live. If you're watching on Instagram, then it'll be on my bio. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put it in the comments down below as well. Or in fact, if you're watching it on YouTube, it'll be in the description. And if you're watching this on LinkedIn, it will also be in the description. So guys, have a great evening. I hope those tips about virtual assistants have been really useful. Keep pushing, keep driving your own property business forward, and I can't wait to meet you at an event very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.